Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video, I'm going to continue this mini series about what it's like to be a crypto influencer. But in today's video, I want to sort of talk about some of the conferences, the crypto conferences that we've been to recently, you know, Las Vegas, Dubai, the UK, and various other places around the world. And yeah, I want to sort of talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And it is just going to be me sat in front of this camera. I'm not going to do too many edits. I'm just going to sort of talk through what I found. And some of this stuff's really, really interesting. And yeah, I want to sort of dig into it. This won't be the longest video in the world. I'm going to keep it, you know, rather short. But if you enjoy this sort of content and you wish to see more of it, do let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button. It really does support the channel and helps push the content out to like-minded individuals. We really do appreciate that. And subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, and hit that notification button, right? So let's sort of get into this, right? We've done many thousands of miles worth of travel to go to a lot of these events. And, you know, I would say that these events, they haven't all been great. Brilliant for business to business, but I imagine it's very, very different in a bear market to what it's like in a bull market. So, you know, Nick and myself, I guess privileged in some regards that we can probably go unnoticed, you know, when we're at a lot of these events. I think we're very different on camera to perhaps what we are in real life, probably not as recognizable. And that's been a huge benefit because we've been able to walk around and not really be disturbed too much. But some of the things that I noticed just like straight off the cuff was, you know, some of the booths were empty at points. And, you know, I kind of get that. Perhaps on, like, you know, when the events are just kicking off, or they're going to end in an hour maybe, but some of these booths were really unattended, and not much going on until like halfway through the day's event, for example. So I found this rather interesting, but you know, I guess it leads me to question, why are they at these events? And I'll come on to this a little bit later as well. So I guess the positives that I saw, and I'll mention names of like the projects that, you know, I want to kind of highlight, I think have done a really, really good job. So for example, we saw 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 CEO at the booth for the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 booth, obviously. The whole event from start to end, you know, engaging with people. I thought that this was really, really positive, and I think it demonstrates that 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 are working tirelessly to, you know, better the project and get the project in front of more people, support more people with health and stuff like that. And I really did like seeing that. And like, these are long days to see a CEO of a project at the event, at the booth, all day, every day for the event. Like that is pretty cool. Like some of these booths, you know, are just the team, like just members of the team, just people paid to man booths and stuff like that. So, you know, to see the CEO there and, you know, all day as well, like we're talking hours upon hours, like longer than your average 8-hour shift at a 9 to 5, for example. So, you know, for me, this was a really big deal. This is kind of what these events are about. It's about being able to engage with the people running the project. So hats off to 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. They were just one project of a few that, you know, I wanted to highlight, that I think were doing a fantastic job. 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧 well, I wouldn't even say it was a booth, but I would say that it was, you know, a gaming setup, engaging with the community, racing with the community, like just one of the most engaging, you know, booths at the event in Las Vegas, for example. And hats off to those guys, right? Doing interviews whilst not engaging with the community, taking those breaks to make sure everybody was getting the attention from them as was wanted. And I think that their jobs are very, very difficult, and I think that there's a real lack of respect in the crypto sector as a whole, and I think a lot of this is because there's a few bad apples, and it is kind of ruining the whole crypto project, influencers, leaders in the space. And what I mean by this, and I would really love to get people's views and opinions, like the real lack of respect that's shown to many people in this space just because of a few bad apples, leads me to feel like it creates more bad apples, if that makes sense. Because if you're constantly told you're wrong, you're constantly told that you're a scam project, or you're not doing what needs to be done, or you're being corrected all the time, by people that are not even in the industry, don't even know really what they're talking about. Being accused of things that you're not doing, after a while it does get a little bit tiresome. And I think that this is why a lot of influencers and project teams are less accessible to the everyday retail investor, because after a while you just think, well, fuck it, why should I bother? Why am I putting all this effort in? Why am I making myself accessible? Why am I helping people? And it's almost like the people within crypto cause the very thing that they dislike in crypto and in leaderships and projects. It's just my opinion. Really interested to get people's views and opinions that perhaps aren't like as integrated as I am. The other project that I would highlight that I think did a fantastic job at these events, and they were at both events, was World Mobile. And what I would say is I like to observe what's going on, watch what's going on at the booths, watch what's going on with the teams, where are they going, who they talking to, all that stuff. And what I would say about World Mobile is obviously they were at these events, they were present. Mickey was making himself and the team were making themselves available for everybody at the conference, interviews, chatting with your investors at the booth and stuff like that. But not only that, they were conducting their meetings as well throughout the day. This is something that, maybe seen as a little bit creepy, but, if you're invested in projects, I think you should be watching what the project teams are doing. I've said this countless amounts of times. I mean, it does start to highlight a few things that you wouldn't probably know. So I encourage people to go to these conferences, and see what these project teams are up to. But, Mickey Watkins and the World Mobile team have done a terrific job, in my opinion, of being present, but also getting shit done, having meetings. You see them scurry off to go do a meeting, away from everybody. And for me, this was something that I hadn't seen any other project doing. And, I think it does say a lot about the intent from the team and what they're looking to do. So I was really pleased to see this aspect of things. The other things like that I took note on was where some of these project teams, individuals were staying on some of these trips, because actually, a lot of the money, the investment that, we make in these projects is, going into funding the team. And, part of that does include the travel and all that aspect of things. And it was great to hear certain CEOs of projects talking about the budget and talking about, they could only stay at this hotel because it's within the budget of the project for travel expenses and stuff like that. that to me shows some of these projects taking stuff really, really seriously. And one of those projects was VeChain. Again, really interesting stuff. And I think, this speaks volumes. There were projects that were staying at some of the most expensive hotels in Dubai, for example, that, didn't man their booths, throughout the whole event and stuff like that. And I think this does ring alarm bells to a point. Now, why do I think that some of these projects perhaps weren't manning the booths? I think some of this is just, avoiding having to pay tax. I think it's traveling the world, so that you're perhaps not a citizen of a particular country, and a way to potentially, pay less tax. And not suggesting that is what's happening. It's just a feeling that I've got. But there are, people in the space that are definitely all about them. And I think that speaks true with like a lot of the influencers as well. There was, a lot of influencers that didn't go to any of these conferences throughout the bear market. And I found that rather interesting. Some of the bigger influencers in the space that, extract quite an awful lot of liquidity out of some of these projects weren't present at these events. And, things that I've witnessed them saying are things like, well, if they went to these events, then they couldn't potentially invest more in crypto. And I think that's a very selfish viewpoint, bearing in mind the amount of liquidity that they've drained out of some of these projects. So look, I found this stuff really interesting. It's me rambling on. Maybe there's some element of value in this for people. NewNet was another project that I think did a fantastic job. Rejuve, World Mobile, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦, Ergo. There were many others. I haven't mentioned all of them. But for me, hats off to the projects that I've highlighted in this video. And look, digest that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Did this bring you any value, or am I just wasting my time talking about this stuff? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.